Hello y'all, what's going on? Welcome back to another episode of Retro ReWire. My name is JJ, and in today's episode, we're gonna continue the In the Hunt series. This time we're back at another hard off, and we're taking another trip back to Saitama, Japan, this time in a town known as Hanyu. And interesting hard off there because they had a few items in stock that I wasn't expecting, and they were actually quite interesting and definitely very collectible, especially for the faithful. But anyhow, without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and cut to the footage. So sit back, relax, and let's go ahead and enjoy the hard off in Hanyu, Saitama. Okay y'all, so here we are at the hard off. This is the game aisle, and I'm pretty much just want to show you guys a little bit of the store layout and the things that we're going to be taking a look today. Of course, here we're going to start with the game aisle, and over here we have the display case, and we'll definitely take a look at that, but let's keep it moving out this way. And they kind of have everything separated. And here we have the consoles, and we'll definitely take a closer look at these. So let's go ahead out this way. We're gonna make our way into the junk section. We have the junk case. We'll take a look at that. And then we'll take a look at the junk consoles, of course. And then we're gonna make our way down over here. And of course, we'll take a look at the little testing station, and we'll test something out. And then of course, we'll do the junk games. But anyhow, that's pretty much the store layout. So anyhow, let's go ahead and dive deep into some of the details. Let's go ahead and start with the junk case, and at the bottom we have a PC Engine core graphics, and it seems to have an issue with the power, which is why it's $100, but it is complete. And up above here we have a couple of 3DSs for $50 a piece, and then we have a Sega Master System for $100 untested, and then we have a PC Engine Duo R for $120 untested. And these are the prices only. They only include the consoles, no accessories, which is kind of cool to see. But here we are in the junk corner, and then at the bottom, as you can see, we have a couple racing wheels here for the PlayStation 2. And these racing wheels do make all the difference when playing these racing games. It's freaking awesome playing with these things. And then we have a couple yellowed Super Famicom systems. Now most of these range between $5 and $10. And if you're familiar with the retro bright techniques and process, you know, you can definitely restore some of these into a healthier looking color. And then I didn't expect to see this Super Scope. Now this did not include the game, and I believe the sensor was missing, which is why it was $3. But definitely cool to see, and it was complete in the box. You know, finding the sensor is just a matter of looking through the junk items, and sooner or later you'll find one. Then we have a couple of PSPs, as well as a few DS systems, and then a couple more DS systems. But anyhow, what we're gonna do, let's go ahead and test this PlayStation Portable here and see if it's gonna be working or not. And as you can see, the price is there. But anyhow, this is the testing station. I just grabbed some of these power cords just from the junk bins, and a little bit hard to operate at one hand, but you know, with a little bit of effort, it did power on. And the screen and the condition, you know, is so. A lot of these things can be replaced, but we're gonna go ahead and boot up Final Fantasy VII Advent Children. But as you can see, it's having trouble loading discs. I'm sure, I didn't test the memory card portion, but it wasn't reading discs. So we're gonna grab the other PSP system and see if this one works. Now the screen is a little bit scuffed up, but as you can see, it is reading the disc, and this one is in better just better all around condition, working a little bit better, but not too bad. And sometimes you have to troubleshoot these systems a little bit. Now at first this one wasn't powering on, but I changed out the AC adapter, and then as you can see here, we have a DS Lite, and this one was working without any issue. And then I'll just kind of shoot up the prices here, 3 for the AC adapter and 10 for the unit itself, so not too bad. And then let's go ahead and take a quick look at the junk section here. Now they had quite a bit of cables and as well as controllers and all sorts of other little accessories. It was looking pretty healthy. You know, we have some N64 controllers, PlayStation 2, Super Famicom, Wii, all sorts of stuff. We even have the RF adapters for the original Famicom. And then we have this here, which was a nice surprise, Super Mario Kart for $2. Now that's something that you don't really see in the US, but freaking awesome price. And I do like collecting these little transparent memory cards for the PlayStation and PlayStation 2. And I ended up picking up this orange one, which is kind of cool to see, especially the old saves that are on them. And then we have a Wiimote for $3, not too bad of a price. Now, in terms of games, you know, they had a lot of your AAA stuff, you know, in stock. Some of them, most of the games here were $1. Some of them were even as low as 50 cents, which is kind of nice to see. And they had a bunch of Naruto games, or AKA Naruto, but quite a bit of games from this series, and it's across multiple systems. But you know, some of these games are actually pretty good, and at $1 that's not too bad. But anyhow, let me go ahead and show you the condition of some of the discs. Well, at least specifically for Fighters Mega Mix. Not perfect shape, but definitely good enough to be working condition and running. But definitely cool junk section. Anyhow, let's go ahead and take a look at some consoles, and right away we'll take a look at the top loader NES. It includes 2 controllers and all the cables for $80. Definitely in pretty good condition, I would say. Next to that, we have a Super Famicom for $50, and then on both sides there we have PlayStation 3s for about $60. So not too bad, but anyhow, they had a really freaking awesome system here. Not the PS1 is a freaking awesome system, and so is the N64, but I'm talking about the Sega Saturn, the V Saturn for $140. Look how classy this thing looks, and complete in the box. Definitely a nice little surprise. And then in the back there we have all sorts of controllers, mainly GameCube controllers, and some of them quite expensive at $70. But next to the Saturn, we had this limited edition Sega Dreamcast for $280. Never actually seen this one before, so it was definitely a nice little surprise. And $280. Now it is yellowing a little bit, but still definitely cool to see, and you know, definitely highly collectible. And then we have the Super Famicom Mini for $80, and then a Switch for $330. But definitely cool to see that Dreamcast. I don't think I would pay that price, but it's always nice to see. And then just an assortment of PlayStation 4 systems, and then $50 for this 360. Now here is a freaking awesome surprise, which is a revolver Smith & Wesson gun. That's with the umbrella logo, you know, RE branding. Definitely a cool thing. I almost missed this, and I caught it at the tail end of my visit. This was going for $250, and usually you would see these advertised in the, you know, the RE games here in Japan, in the little leaflets. And they actually didn't have one; they actually had 2, and this one was $150. But definitely cool to see those. Never seen those before. And then we have like this Mario globe for $50. This was like a limited edition release, so definitely nice to see that. But anyhow, let's make our way down the gaming aisle, and we'll start with the PlayStation 2. Now, the gaming aisle, you know, it was a little bit overall like slim pickings, more or less, but you know, there were some interesting titles. At least, you know, I definitely love fighting games, you know, so seeing KOF 2003 for 10. We have Mega Man or Rockman X7 for 16. Never actually played this one, but definitely would like to give it a go sometime. And then we have Garou for 30. That's a freaking classic title. But you know, definitely feel free to pause if you want a closer look at some of these. And then we have this game here, this sequel by Taito. Not actually sure what it is, but the cover kind of just caught my attention, and seems to be an interesting little adventure type game. And down in the bottom, like once again, you know, feel free to pause. These are the PlayStation 1 games. They didn't have very many. 35 here for this Gradius Gaiden, which is actually also available on the, I believe, the PlayStation Network on the Japanese store, as well as the PlayStation Portable. And I've never actually played it, but it seems like a decent shooter. But anyhow, here we have the PlayStation Portable games, and as you will see, a lot of these games were going for about $3. And then at the top shelf, we have the very limited Xbox One and 360 games. But anyhow, we have Valkyria Chronicles for $3. Not too bad of a game. Never released stateside, but it did get a patch for English support. And then we have Blaze Blue. And then Dissidia, as well as the Dissidia sequel for $3 a piece. Never actually played those. But then we have Burnout for $10, as well as Gran Turismo for $10, which that game really pushes the Vita to the limits. And then we have this Chaos Head. No, I never actually seen this, but $15, one of the more expensive titles that were on hand. But yeah, not too bad of a... they had a few other interesting games, so not too bad for the PSP there. But definitely slim pickings for the PlayStation 3. And currently, at least since the year started, I've been in a PS3 buying frenzy, just because some of these games are as cheap as $2. As you can see, we have White Knight Chronicles EX Edition. Unfortunately, this one does not support any kind of English language support. But here's one that does. This is actually the American version of Call of Duty Black Ops, which still has online functionality, and at $6, that's not too bad of a price. But let's make our way into the PlayStation Vita, and again, a little bit slim pickings here. But PlayStation Vita, definitely an awesome system. I want to say like 80% of my collection is digital for the PlayStation Vita, perhaps more, maybe more like 90%, but definitely a nice little handheld. And then here we have a few controllers, mostly Nintendo controllers. And the two that kind of just stood out to me were these GameCube Wii controllers for $25 a piece. We have the Mario and Luigi controllers. And then we have this N64 controller for $15, complete in the box. Definitely nice to see. And look at this retro, totally 90s styling. And then we have Vermilion with this awesome freaking cover. This is an interesting game. I have put in a few hours into it, but never actually finished it. And then the Dreamcast selection was small, but it was pretty solid overall. As you can see, we have, Soul Calibur, Sonic Adventure, we saw Sega Rally, we saw Frame Grid, we have this Mahjong game, I believe, we have Code Veronica and Sega GT, and of course Biohazard 3 or RE3 Last Escape. Definitely would like to get the Dreamcast version of Part 2 and Part 3. Can't have enough RE games, man. And then we have Virtual Cop 2 for $3, pretty good condition there. And then they had the X-Band version of Sega Rally for $15. That was kind of cool to see. And of course, Super Mario 64 for $15. Pretty cool stuff there. Anyhow, we have an assortment of PC Engine games with a Neo Geo CD game kind of thrown into the mix. Definitely feel free to pause. And then we'll take a look at this Atlas game for the PC Engine, which I've never actually heard of before, but kind of an interesting little cover there. Not sure what this is, but definitely a busy cover, and at I believe $11. And then we have Grand Dread for the Sega Saturn for $5. I'm not even sure what this is, but that cover was kind of cool looking. Of course, the classic Panzer Dragoon. And then we have Knights. But yeah, a lot of... Myst is a game that I would definitely would like to play one day. I haven't played it. And then Destruction Derby for the Sega Saturn. I picked up the PlayStation 1 version, which I believe is the superior version for $1, but definitely would like to try out the Saturn one. Not sure what this is, but it has a freaking mean cover. I think that was a Darius, I believe. Now this is kind of cool, Mario and Wario with the mouse. I never actually even heard of that game before till I seen it here, but that was kind of a nice little surprise. But anyhow, let's see some of these loose cart games. Pretty interesting selection of games here. And definitely feel free to pause if you want to take a closer look at some of the games here that are facing us. But here we have Momotaro for the Famicom. Then we have XX's. It's a little ninja game. Not sure what this is about, but definitely looks like a cool cover. We have Super Mario Land for 10, complete in box. Not too bad a condition, but I know if I look hard enough, I can get it for $5. And then we have Battle Blaze, Super Ninja Boys, and of course, Ultima. Freaking awesome cover. I love that cover. And then we have Goemon or Mystical Ninja, World Heroes. All of these games found US releases at some point, but those are definitely a lot more expensive than what you're seeing here. We have Super Mario World for $5, and they had a pretty good selection of loose N64 games, and most of them were priced at about $5. So as you can see here, you know, we have Mario Kart 64, which is a solid entry into the franchise and one of my personal favorites. And then of course we have Smash Bros here for $10 or $11. But yeah, pretty good selection. They had a few more. I believe they also had Star Fox 64 back there, but as well as Zelda, as you can see. But definitely pretty cool selection of N64 games. Then we have Dragon Buster, freaking like that name. And then Chrono Trigger. Look at this. This box is pretty clean. $15, not too bad. Then we'll take a look at some Wii games, and of course we got to take a look at the Biohazard games. We have 4 and the remake for $10 a piece. Freaking like that cover for the remake. And then most of your other games are just your standard issue Wii games, but they're all very solid entries. Except for this one. I heard the Mario 25th Anniversary had issues with the emulation. Never actually tried it out for myself. It's just what I read. Then we got a few stray Wii systems, and then of course we have DS and 3DS video games. Now I do have a Japanese Nintendo 3DS, which I picked up last year, but unfortunately the 3DS and the new 3DS, which is what I actually have, those are region locked, which is kind of a bummer, because I would like to try out like this Zelda here, but you know, the language barrier, I just miss out too much on the story. Probably definitely playable, you know, but a little bit of a drag having to translate or use a guide. And not too bad of a price there for the Mario Kart, and then of course the Pokemon game. But yeah, let's make our way into the Wii U. We have Bayonetta for $5. Freaking love this game. I actually beat it on PlayStation 3, which is actually the worst version of that game, just poorly optimized. And then we have Bayonetta 2 for $20. Now I definitely want to get that for my Switch. And then we have, I believe this is Kamen Rider for $15. And then we'll just take a quick glance at the Switch games as well as the PlayStation 4 games. Now this game here by Konami was, the $50 one was one of the biggest selling pieces of software in Japan. Kind of an interesting little looking game. But as you can see, most of their Switch games, you know, there's nothing that really stands out, but yeah. Definitely quite a few baseball games. And then we'll take, like I said, we'll take a quick look here at the PlayStation 4 games and then make our way into the display case. PlayStation 4 is a pretty solid system. A lot of good video games on this console, on this machine. But anyhow, let's go ahead and take a look at the display case. And once again, definitely feel free to pause as there's quite a few things in here. Well, definitely a smaller case, but the one game that really stood out to me is there, right there in the back, which is Dai Makaimura for the Super Graphics. I'll get a little bit a different angle here in a bit, but it was about $110 more or less. But definitely a freaking awesome cover, and never actually played that entry, but you know, looks definitely would like to try it out. Because as you know, the month of February, the Resurrection is coming out. But then we have this awesome Neo Geo camouflaged pocket for $35. That thing looks freaking cool. And then in the back, the complete in box Game Boy, the original Game Boy for $70. Pretty freaking awesome thing. And then of course the Neo Geo Mini for $70. But that's pretty much it for this episode. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut back to the studio and we're gonna wrap things up. So let's get to it now. All right, y'all, so we're pretty much at the end of the video. Thank you for sticking around this long. Definitely interesting items in stock at this at this hard up in Hanyu, from the V Saturn, the limited edition Dreamcast, and especially those airsoft Resident Evil replica guns. Definitely interesting stuff there. But anyhow, I'm gonna continue this series, and I have a few surprises upcoming for future episodes. I think the next episode we're gonna go to a book off, this time in Gyoda. And then after that, I'm hoping to release another episode, and I'll reveal more details later in the future, so definitely keep in tune for those. But anyhow, thank you for checking out Retro ReWire. My name is JJ. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe, and I hope to see you all very, very soon. Ciao. Relax, and let's definitely some cool, interesting consoles at this here. And we'll do the yeah, just stop it.